first half.
Just 8 games left after tonight for Detroit. The magic number coming into today is 5 to clinch the 1 seed. Boston is number 2 in the East standings as Thompson breaks up that lob attempt by DiVincenzo to Gobert. Jenkins with a tough pass, another Detroit turnover.
Yeah, he just wait quite long enough. Jalen Duren was running about as hard as he could. Jenkins just delivered that a half a count too soon, or that's an easy dunk.
Duren had 4 points in just 12 minutes played in the first half. Randall puts up a 3 and can't knock it down. Gobert an offensive rebound. Randall's 2 for 10, 0 of 3 from behind the arc. Conley's 3, no good. 5 of 25, 20% from behind the arc for Minnesota, 27% for Detroit.
And 9 for 40 combined. I mean, and a lot of these are good looks. These are 2 good defensive teams, and both teams are playing hard, but they have had clean 3-point looks. The question is, which team's going to get hot from out there at some point? Could be the difference in the game.
Jenkins missed the bank shot. He's 1 of 8. And he's been red hot with Cunningham out of the lineup. Shannon's shot almost rolled. Would be starting for the injured Anthony Edwards, but Dosunmu is out as well.
Since he came into the league, he was an elite defender from the beginning with all of that size and length on the perimeter, but he has turned himself into a very consistent corner 3-point shooter and can even now take you off the dribble a little bit.
He had 25 points against the Rockets, but had to leave late in the game due to a knee issue that's got him out today. Hard screen by Duren. Boy, that has to hurt when he comes in and screens you. Meanwhile, Thompson soars for the putback.
And he's one of those guys, you've got to go out and meet him and chip on him because he has a running start from the 3-point line. He is very difficult to keep off the glass.
Shannon missed the layup. Detroit looking to run. Catch and shoot. Robinson got a 3.
I love that play by Tobias Harris because he's had a hot start to the night. He had a shot he could have taken, but he realizes there's an even better shooter 1 pass away.
And then Randall lost the ball, turns it over. Thompson gets to the rim and puts it in.
Right now he wants his team to cut this run, guys.
Katie, I love that spotlight on a player that I genuinely consider one of the most underrated guards in the league during his time in the league. Now at 38 years old, as she said, a different role, but smart and tough and a winner, and there you see a leader.
When he was out of the rotation, as DiVincenzo pulls the trigger and swishes through a 3-pointer, Chris Finch, the head coach for Minnesota, said it's one of the hardest decisions of his coaching career. He actually called it a crime against humanity for having to keep Mike Conley out of the rotation, but he's back. Started the last 2 games. Shot clock down to 7. Thompson, who scored 4 points in about 40 seconds after not scoring in the first half. And Tobias Harris turns it over and immediately grabs the back of his right leg. Randall on the other end, underneath, and Gobert is fouled. Jenkins commits his 3rd foul. Gobert misses the free throw. His first miss. And he missed them both. 3 minutes gone by. 3rd quarter, Detroit leading by 8. Minnesota in a battle with Detroit in Houston, trying to get to the 4 spot and get home court in the first round of the NBA playoffs. They're right now tied in the loss column with Denver for 4th as Thompson hits again.
Well, it worked out for the Pistons, but Tobias Harris missed Thompson initially wide open as both defenders went with Duncan Robinson, but they stayed with it, and he used his size that time for a little post-up.
He's got 6 points. He averages 10. DiVincenzo with the hot hand buries another 3.
He's had an interesting night. I feel like he's made the tougher ones with a defender in his proximity, and he's missed the better looks that he's had. But overall, trying to make his impact, and he's capable of going off and having a big quarter at any time.
Duren downhill, swatted by Gobert. Conley looking to push pace. Got DiVincenzo on the weak side. Randall gives it up, now sets the screen. DiVincenzo can't get that one to fall. He's now 4 of 11 from 3. He's got a game-high 17 points. His team back within 7. Harris penetrates and scores as Gobert tried to block another one but couldn't.
Yeah, that was really difficult shot because Gobert looked like he had that thing timed up, but Tobias Harris able to go to the left and put it high on the glass.
His first points of the second half. Conley for 3, no good. Detroit ball. Down court is Duren, and he slams it through. Jenkins. Lead back to 11. Detroit led by as many as 13 in that first half. Randall on the back down. Goes through the lane. That was a tough shot. And he's 2 for 11.
And he's got to score in that situation. If they're going to play him one-on-one with Tobias Harris, he needs to keep his dribble and get a better shot than that. That's a difficult fadeaway when he has...
Since midway through the third. Harris has 13 to pace Detroit. Reed off the bench with 10. Here's Naz Reed, and Reed gets his second field goal. Reed averages 14 points per game, just 4, though, here today. Harris drives again and scores again on the left side of the rim.
It's 2 in a row, going to that left hand, one over Gobert. That time over Naz Reed, who was right with him.
Gobert attacking, blocked by Duren. And out of
on the left side of his body, he gets 2 in a row to go in that direction.
Robinson around the Duren screen, keeps the dribble. Thompson leaning in, goes to the left hand, missed the shot. Rebounded by DiVincenzo. Thompson's such an excellent defender. DiVincenzo knew he had to hustle to avoid the 8-second backcourt violation. And now Thompson called for the foul, reaching in, trying to score.
That are capable, but Naz Reed struggling. DiVincenzo turning it around. Bones Highland is the other guy. The way he's played lately, needs to get himself going in this quarter.
He's only taken 3 shots. Clark misses. Jenkins has it, splits the double team, and gets the layup. Pretty play by Danis Jenkins. Second-year pro out of St. John's, who played at 4 colleges, finished with the Red Storm and Rick Pitino. Didn't sign a standard contract until February, and he's been one of their better players. 5 minutes to play in the third, and the Pistons have matched their largest lead of the day at 13. Trying to get win number 54 on the season. Herter flips it up, missed the shot, out of bounds. Timberwolves ball. Detroit will head to Oklahoma City after this to play the Thunder on Monday. 5 of their final 8 games are on the road as they try to wrap up the 1 seed in the East for the first time since 2007. They've already clinched a playoff spot. Made the playoffs last year for the first time since 2019. They haven't won a series since 08. Highland had to put that up.
Is relentless, and you saw it on that possession. The pursuit, the pressure. Nobody's catching the ball with any space, and then they play through the shot clock.
Herter backdoor, couldn't get the handle. And now Duren has it blocked by Gobert. And they're saying it was touched last by Duren, so it's Minnesota ball. We talked about the issues in the second quarter for Detroit having more turnovers than field goals. That's what Minnesota's doing here in the third. Just 3 baskets and 4 turnovers. They work it around the horn. Reed driving baseline. Euro blocked. Got it back. Goes up and puts it in, plus a foul. Well, we certainly know they're capable of a comeback, as they scored the final 15 points of overtime after trailing by 13. It's the largest overtime comeback win of the play-by-play era, going back to 1997. That was on Wednesday against Houston. They're down 11 here. Shot clock at 3. LeVert has to put it up, and rainbows that one on the rim. No good. Duren battling underneath. Gobert took a shot.
For me, that's a situation I think you let them play on. That's 2 centers battling for position. There's going to be a lot of contact on that.
Shot clock at 4. Sasser sees it, drives as Randall's back on the floor. Holland hits a 3 with the shot clock running out. And he's only a 22% three-point shooter.
But to his credit, he continues to try to work on it. He still will take the open ones. Sar Thompson basically now turning those down altogether. And that's no other way to expand your game than...
Randall just 2 for 11, 0 for 3 from 3. Gets the first free throw. We have enough with 8 games left for the best record in the NBA.
Kind of feel like this is a big 3 minutes right here for Minnesota. You're down 12, closing out this quarter. You need stops and make a few shots here so you feel better that you're within striking distance going into that fourth quarter. But more importantly, you just need to see your offense have some momentum.
Holland downhill, flies to the rim, and flushes it. So 5 quick points for him. Top 5 pick in 2024. He's just 20 years old. Anderson passed Herter. Got caught underneath the goal. Now it's Naz Reed. Holland right in his grill. Randall puts it on the deck. Got Duren off his feet, and that's 4 on Jalen Duren. Picked up 2 fouls in the first 3 minutes of the game.
DiVincenzo, Dante, you've hit some timely shots tonight, but how do you guys collectively find some momentum offensively?
Just get some more stops and get out and run. Stop turning the ball over, get some stops, get out and transition.
Speaking of those stops, how do you string together a couple of them here to start the fourth?
Pick up the pressure a little bit, get into their bodies a little bit, not let them be so comfortable.
Thanks, Dante.
Well, they give up a 3, Katie, and that's the second 3 for Holland. DiVincenzo also mentioned getting out and running. They have just 7 fast break points. Now down 17, that's their largest deficit of the day. DiVincenzo leading Minnesota in scoring with 17. 15 for Tobias Harris. Holland's got 11 off the bench. 10 for Reed off the bench. Naz Reid misses the shot, but he's fouled.
Help if their guy that they're guarding dives. It's really impressive.
Talked with J.B. Bickerstaff before the game about Duren's improvement on the offensive end. He highlighted, and sometimes maybe we don't do this enough when we talk about most improved players, he talked about how much better he is on the defensive end, which has helped everybody else on the floor. But he hasn't played a ton in this game, and they've still been great defensively as Reed gets the slam. Back to a 17-point lead. And Paul Reed, 12 points and 7 boards off the bench. Highland missed the layup. Gobert inside gets the putback. Cade Cunningham out for the Pistons, missing his 6th straight game with a collapsed lung. They're 4-1 without him. Reed gets the rebound after the miss by Paul Reed. DiVincenzo, the 3 is not there. They're 7 of 33 from behind the arc. Collins had an excellent day on both ends of the floor in 14 minutes off the bench. Shot clock at 8. Herder again able to get that over the outstretched arm of Gobert and score.
Yeah, if you take that up directly without that little hesitation that he had on the release, that's going to get blocked. When you can hold on to the ball a little longer, that's how you get the shot over the extended arm of somebody like Gobert.
Much needed hit. Bones Highland knocking down the triple. Just 6 points for Highland. Without Anthony Edwards these last 5 games, he's averaging about 18 points per game. 1 and done for Detroit. Quick outlet. Chance for Highland to get it going, but he missed the 3. Gobert kept it alive momentarily. And then a kickball quarter, and they still have 67. 3 minutes gone by. Duren back on the court, able to get past Highland. No help, and he gets the easy dunk for his 8th point.
You're trying to fight back in the game. That can't happen. You got a center handling the ball off a little brush screen, able to get all the way to the rim.
Clark with the hang and finish. Minnesota hanging around, down 14. Duren up top. Gobert will sag. Behind the back, Holland on the pull-up. Not there. Easy board, Gobert. He's got 12 rebounds to go with 12 points. Reed gets a good look. And not even close. Naz Reid 0 for 6 from 3.
This has been the story of the last month and a half for Naz Reid. And you think about Naz Reid at his best, your 6-man winner. And when he's at his best, that 3-point shooting electrifies the home crowd. And he has not been able to get anything to go consistently.
What a shot by Herder, faking the pass and then hitting he's moving to his right. And then a great defensive play on the other end by LeVert with the rejection. Holland gets. Meanwhile, Conley picks up his 3rd foul. So we were just told that we mentioned how many times the team, even though they have 60 with 8 minutes to go, and they still have under 70. So Holland gets the free throws. He's got 13.
And DiVincenzo was talking about with Katie, let's get out and run. It's very difficult against Detroit to do that because of how fast they change ends of the floor and their commitment to it.
Here they are in transition. A no-look by Herder. Holland couldn't handle it. Highland turned it over on the other end. Oklahoma City is the only team with a better defensive rating than Detroit. And it's very possible they could meet in the finals if you just look at their regular season records as Gobert gets to the rim. Detroit at 53-20, best record in the East. Magic number to clinch the #1 seed is 5. They've got a 4-game lead on Boston with 9 games left. Conley, turn and fire, and the struggles continue from behind the arc for Minnesota. Duren whips it to the corner. Green for 3. Got it. And the lead is 19, the largest of the day for the Pistons. Bones Highland trying to answer, cannot. Are the Wolves out of comebacks? Best player on the best team still would get some MVP votes. Obviously, the most important thing is to have him healthy for the playoffs.
No doubt. And that's clearly going to be their focus. It's very unfortunate for Cade Cunningham to have to go through that with the type of year that he has had, both as a scorer and as a playmaker for this team.
Turnover by Detroit. Numbers for Minnesota, 3-on-1. DiVincenzo went for the hammer, and he missed the dunk. It's been that kind of a day for the Wolves. 30% shooting from the floor. Harris, the double comes out to Green. And Harris fouled. Get the crowd going with a highlight dunk and missed it. Take a look at the upcoming 8 if they can, because you get 2 cracks in the play-in tournament of making the playoffs if you're 7 or 8. Only if you're 9 or 10 and you lose, you're done. A 20-point lead for the Pistons, their largest of the game. Randall, swing it. DiVincenzo got hit. The 3 is no good, but Asar Thompson commits the...
DiVincenzo an opportunity for free throws.
A whole lot. He's going to check in here. Chris Finch just trying to do something to spark his team. And again, they don't have Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, and Ayo Dosunmu, so that's about 50 points per game that they're without in this contest. And they have only 73 points for the game. And just 29 in the second half. What a ball fake by Jenkins, but nice recovery, Gobert. Thompson gets to the loose ball. Jenkins' 3 is off the mark, kept alive by Duren. Thompson. Shot clock down to 4. Now with 2, Harris has to put it up. Comes up short. Bones Highland out of there with it. DiVincenzo hoists and hits a 3. Down to 15 at the 5-minute mark. Foul line J, good for Jenkins.
Well, he came off that screen and there was nobody there because the defender fell down. So easiest look Jenkins has had all night at a time in Minnesota trying to get some momentum.
And DiVincenzo taking 14 threes. Duncan Robinson no good on the 3-point attempt. Randall has it taken away, and he's going to get caught.
Almost baiting you into thinking that he's not going to make a play on the ball, and then he just lunges at it. Many times we've seen him this year come up with plays either at midcourt or in the backcourt.
Duren powers it up and in. His 10th point to go with 12 rebounds. You know, it's interesting, the 2 best defensive players in the NBA that aren't centers might be the guys that are twins, Asar and Amen Thompson. Amen for the Rockets and Asar for the Pistons. Detroit looking to run again after the empty Minnesota possession. Harris looked like he got hit. No whistle, but he gets the basket. And a timeout with the Pistons in full command. And again, what?
This couldn't be the team to pull it off because their defense is that elite. And remember, this offense doesn't look like this when Cade Cunningham's on the floor. Tonight, this has just been a story about their defense carrying them in the culture that J.B. Bickerstaff has created. No matter who plays and no matter how they play offensively, they expect to win.
It's really one of the best stories in the league in a long time when you consider where they were 2 years ago. I mean, to have 14 wins, to look like It was an organization going nowhere to have 30 more wins last year. And then this year, again, I don't think a lot of people saw Detroit having the best record in the East. That's the 9th-3
as they move toward the playoffs. And remember, this group gave the Knicks everything they could handle in the first round a year ago. They're so young, not quite ready to make that leap. And they just picked up where they left off, but they still collectively haven't won a playoff series together. And I think that's why J.B. Bickerstaff isn't talking about seeding or wins.
Darashay gets fouled and hits the deck hard.
Obviously, they've got some other guys out. For the most part, this team has had tremendous health this year. I mean, 5 of their top 6 guys have all played north of 70 games. So they have had great health amongst their top players right now, going through a tough stretch, but winning games without Anthony Edwards. Clearly didn't have it today offensively. Not enough against this defense.
Yeah, now 4-2 without Edwards, and Detroit 5-1 without Cunningham. And again, the hope for Minnesota is that Edwards is back soon. Their next game is Monday. Be interesting to see between now and then, a little over 48 hours, if Edwards is able to come back. Joe Ingles with the pass. The crowd, what's left of the crowd, because many of the Wolves fans are gone. There was trash talking going on from some of the Detroit coaches. Had a smile on their faces when the former head coach of the Lakers and Kings, a valuable part of J.B. Bickerstaff's staff. Conference. Minnesota falls to 45-29, and a lot of work to do for the Wolves over the final 2 weeks of the regular season to try to climb the standings and get to